everybody. Hello. It is your girl Yo-Yo. I know it's been a long time since you all have seen me, but I'm back. I'm exhausted, but I'm back. I wanted to get on here today and discuss some things that's been going on. So, anyway, we're gonna start the show with some little admin things. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. YouTube, Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. Instagram, Yo-Yo 7393001. And TikTok. It's going to be my name, Yomi Hardison. I have missed you all so much. And I am happy to be back. So you know what it is. We're going to start off with the Did You Know in Black History. All right? Did you know in Black history, Gordon Parks Sr., born November 30th, 1912, he taught himself photography. By doing this, he became a successful fashion designer. In 1941, he accepted a job with a Farm Security Administration to create photographical displays of the faces of America. In 1946, he published a book called The Learning Tree. The first in a trilogy of autobiographical novels. In 1969, he created a movie version of the book and made him the first African American to direct a major Hollywood movie. That is your Did You Know in Black History. Well, y'all, we got some things to talk about. And the topic tonight, I really would love to have some ministers and pastors and stuff on here. But if not, we're going to get this show rolling and they can get on the replay. I have been looking at the news because I've been in the house. I have been reading articles, YouTube, and TikTok University on things that are going on in the country. And I had asked a question a couple of days ago, and that is our topic tonight. Why is it that America, the Christian people and evangelicals are so concerned with the LGBTQIA plus community? And why aren't they so in an uproar about the Catholic preachers, the Baptist preachers, these ministers, fathers, uncles, cousins molesting children? They would rather stay on the LGBTQIA plus community, drag queens, so on and so forth. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because I have been to drag shows. I have been to where I took my daughters to see a reading at a library with a drag queen. Not one time did they try to groom my daughters. Did they try to do anything sexual with my daughters? When I was at the drag show, it was pure entertainment. We had one of them that looked like Aretha Franklin, saying respect and threw it out the blocks, baby. I mean, blew it up. So to me, when you're talking about the LGBTQIA plus community, I'm trying to figure out why that is what these people are so focused on, right? Now, granted, there are some perverts that are in that community, right? But there's a lot more in the heterosexual field, right? I was watching Facebook one day, and one of the pastors was at Target, and she wanted people to boycott Target because they had the rainbow stuff in the children's section. They had a onesie that said queer, queer, queer. They had a onesie that, or a shirt or something that said Live Your Life with Love, but it had rainbows in it. Now I can get the queer part. I got that, right? Because no child is queer. But the shirt that had said, live your life with love, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Because I know in the Bible, God said that the greatest gift of anything is love, right? So if you are going to show love or ban or not have them doing their shows or reading books to the children, to me, it's wrong, right? I really would love to get people's intake on this because I don't know why so many people out here have a problem with this community. Now, if I can remember, a lot of stores, Walmart included, Target, I want to say Roses. If y'all, my age, y'all might know what Roses are. They've always had rainbow type clothes, rainbows on the shirts, shorts, blase, tie-dye stuff that had the rainbow colors in it. So now all of a sudden it's an issue. And because the LGBTQIA plus community adopted that the rainbow colors, is that why we're having an issue with this community? Is that why we're having so many people upset that they are wearing the rainbow colors? I am really at a standstill and at a moment in my life where we have bigger fish to fry. We have so much other stuff going on, right? Do I believe that they are out here trying to groom children? No. And let me tell you something. My best friend and I had a discussion about this, I want to say a weekend ago. And she was like, she doesn't believe that, she believes that they are grooming children or something to that effect she was saying. I don't want to call her wrong, but I know she said something like that. I know she said, it's a choice that they make to be gay. Even if people say they were born that way, she said that's their choice, right? Now, let me say this before I continue on. I'm going to put my business out here a little bit. I don't care. Take it for what you want. I've been with females, a few of them. That was something I wanted to do, right? It was a curiosity in me. I know I don't want to be with women. I know that I love men, but at that time in my life, I was experimenting with everything and everybody. And I'm not ashamed to tell you because that was me. That was who I was at that time. But as I've gotten older and gotten thinking about it, I wouldn't want to be with a woman for the rest of my life, right? But that's me. I'm not saying that what they're doing is wrong. Do I believe in the Bible when it says man should marry man and man should marry man, Lord, man should marry woman and woman to man? Yes, I absolutely believe that. However, I do believe that everybody have choices. God has given all of us free will. Free will to do things in life. Free will to choose who we are with, choose who we love, choose the food that He gives us free will, right? So if God gives us free will, why are we all over the LGBTQIA plus community? I'm gonna bring something else up to you. I'm not boycotting Target or anything that has the LGBTQIA plus stuff in there. Why? Because to me, the next thing you're gonna do, they're gonna get rid of African American, like they have Black History. I know here in the Target by where I stay, they have like a whole Black History display with paper card with Black designers, and it was beautiful. Now they had moved it from the front of the store now, and it's kind of like midway to the back, and they still have the black designers there and stuff like that. So if we boycott that, what if the right-wing nationalists or the people that want to get rid of diversity, inclusion, and all the other stuff, what if they say they don't want Black history stuff at Target or Walmart and stuff because it's indoctrinating their children? Are we going to boycott that then, or are we going to say, no, that's our history. That is our history, right? Now, grants, the LGBT, let me tell you something. They have been around forever, since I can remember. I grew up with a guy that was gay as a bit. I mean, he was gay. Everybody knew it. But we called him cousin. He was like I was younger. He was a lot older than me. My friend, he passed like in the late 80s, early 90s. But we grew up with this. He was our family. And we didn't treat him any differently. We knew, my mom and dad left us with him to what do you call it? To babysit us. They knew nothing gonna happen. We've been around his gay friends, all these things. Why now, all of a sudden, everybody has a problem with the LGBTQIA+ community? I'm a Christian. I am a Christian. I believe in the Lord of Jesus Christ. I believe in his teachings. I believe in the word of God. I believe in all that. However, I do, like I said, we have choices, right? My best friend, again, she was like, well, because we were talking about who was the people? Oh, Florida. Ron DeSantis, the governor in Florida, and how, he have strict LGBTQIA bills. He has strict, Cody, shut up. He has strict laws on the books. He's banning books, this and the other. And my best friend had said that the country was built on Christian values. And let's unpack that, right? Our forefathers wrote up a constitution supposed to be on Christian values. One of them was a rapist. One of them had a gay general who trained the soldiers. All of them owned slaves. So how is that a Christian value? So be raping people I'm sorry, y'all. My dog is losing his doggone mind right now. And I don't know what's going on. Koji! He wants to be with me, and I won't let him be with me. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So one was a rapist. Yes. One had a gay general who actually trained his soldiers, and all of them owned slaves. So if that's a Christian value, raping people, knew your general was gay, but he let him train your soldiers, enslaving people, how is that a Christian value? I need to know that. I need to know, how is that a Christian value, right? How is that setting a standard for the country? Now let's talk about these banned books. These banning of these books that are circulated everywhere. Texas, Florida, Iowa, Louisiana, Arkansas, all these people are banning books. The First Amendment has an established religion clause, right? Protects the rights of citizens to practice their religion without any headache or anything, right? So if you are imposing your standard of religion onto somebody else, are you not doing what the forefathers wanted? To practice your own religion? Right? So what if I want my, for instance, some of the books that are being banned is oh Lord, it's a lot of The Catcher in the Rye, which talks about a complexity of issues: identity, belonging, loss, depression, a connection. The people want to ban it because it should have been read in school. Now, some schools, not all, read certain books, like in junior high, high school, in their literature class, English class, right? So that's one of the books. Now, mind you, again, Catcher in the Rye, it talks about identity, belonging, loss, depression. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I read that book. I want to say in high school. My mother had that book, and I read it. This is about an African-American girl who believes she's ugly because of her dark skin. Now, because people think because she said something about her dark skin and all this other stuff, and she was depressed and she was trying to come into her own, and she thought by being loved, she would have sex. I mean, okay. She was abused also. She was a young girl being abused. So that's a book that's being banned. Again, it talks about identity. It talks about your how you feel about yourself, you know, as an African American girl or boy. Then let's try Looking for Alaska by John Green. I didn't read this book, but I was reading the notes on the book. And it's fiction. It's about a young man who has a friend that died, and his nickname was Alaska. The book talks about grief, it talks about hope, and it talks about relationships as young people, young adults. They banned that book. That's one of the books that are being banned. They said it was too explicit. Now, listen, I don't know about you, but if I don't want my child to read something when neither one of them, when they were younger, no, she's not reading that. It's up to the parent to decide whether or not children should read that, right? But again, these books are talking about what our children are going through in society. 13 Reasons Why. Now, I don't know y'all if y'all seen the Netflix series on 13 Reasons Why, but there was a book before the series. Again, I did not read the book. I just read the notes on it so I can tell y'all a little bit about it, and I saw the Netflix series. This is about suicide. A young girl who took her life. A boy, a friend of hers, found some tapes and they listened to it, and she was telling them that all of them contributed to her committing suicide. They banned that book because of the suicide ideology. They weren't telling people to go and telling children to off themselves. What they were saying was children go through things in life, and parents, I'm a parent, sometimes overlook what they're going through, and sometimes children, young adults, hold it in, and the only outlet they can do is by no longer being with us. Okay? Then another book that's being banned is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Now, this is a book of poetry. This is a book of poetry that I loved Maya Angelou. All her autobiography describes early years of her being a poet in America. This book, actually, now I did read this. It was an encouraging book. It talks about strength, love, overcoming racism and trauma. It was banned because people felt uncomfortable about the depiction of reality. It's real. These are real life stories. Now, her autobiography, this is, she was essaying when she was younger, so she didn't talk for a while. And poetry was her out. But they banned that book because it talked too much about reality. We live in a reality world. Things happen. We go through things, right? The last book I'm going to talk about today is The Hill We Climb, not book, but the poem. The Hill We Climb, that was banned. The poem that was read at the inauguration of President Joe Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris. Amanda Gorman, that is the young lady, the Black young lady, the African-American young lady who wrote this poem. Now, in this poem, I read this poem over and over again. And in the poem, it was about hope. It was about, we can see Black, white, Asian, Native American, anything, anybody can be where Vice President Kamala Harris is, President Biden. We have hope in our country. And they're banning the poem because it's too much. Again, I don't understand why in this country, in this society, that we have to go and impart our ways on other people, right? We might as well be in Iran. Iran is over there having a killing fest of people that don't believe what they believe in. Our founding fathers said we had freedom of religion. The Bible says that God gives us choices, gives us free will to do, either to serve him or not. If God can give us choices, right? If the founding father says we can have our own religion and not worry about nothing else, why is people in society today using Christianity, using the word of God, or whatever they feel? Why are they pressuring and putting so much on someone else? Your beliefs are not my beliefs, right? I don't believe what you believe in half the majority of the time, probably, right? I have a best friend. My best friend for 35 plus years. We disagree on a lot of things, but she is allowed to have her beliefs. I'm allowed to have what I believe and feel, right? I know some of the things I do ain't right. The Bible said we fall short of the glory of God every single day. And every day we have to repent. So nobody in this world is perfect. These books are not depicting sexual assault or homophobic ideologies or none of that. They are books that are in our libraries. If you do not want your child to read it, don't let them read it. When they become 16 in some states, that's a legal adult, they can read what the heck they want. Just because you don't like it, don't mean I don't like it. I love it. I want my children to read different things, to have a diverse mind, and to see different things, and to see what the Holocaust was about, or to see about slavery, because that's a real thing. And I just look at our society, and we are going. I've never watched. I'm telling y'all this. I've never watched *Handmaid's Tale* until recently. I feel that we are going in that direction with the governor of Florida, some of these other governors, Texas, Abbott, Hot Wheels. They are making it seem where women can't do this. Women don't have control of their own bodies. women can't read a book that they want to read. We as parents can't tell our children what to read, what not to read, where to go. We can't take our children and do what we want, what we feel is right for our children. Again, I took my daughters to libraries that had drag queens there to read to them. Not one time, not one, but I've been to a church whose pastor had to step down because he was molesting children in the church. But we so quick to point fingers at them and not looking at. I was reading a report. It was a report of 205, 207 past clergymen that was on the registry. 207. It was let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, I lied. It was 207 pages of clergymen. All clergymen. Baptist, Catholic. But we're not talking about that. We're worried about the rainbow people. So I want to know, for all you pastors and ministers and elders, when are y'all going to police up your own people? When are y'all going to start worrying about what's going on in somebody's bedroom and worried about these pastors and these elders and these ministers and these Catholic priests that are out here molesting these children? They're scarring these children for life. This is something that our country is so. My grandmother used to say, when you point your finger at somebody, you have 3 of them pointing back at you. We need to start looking at ourselves and stop looking at other people and what they're doing. Let them people live. Do I believe it's right? I can't say that I do. But who am I? I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. I can tell you the right thing, right? I can tell you what the word says, but it's your free will, your choice to do whatever the heck you want to do. And guess what? I can either deal with it and still rock with you, or I can leave you alone. I know plenty of homosexual people, transgender people. Heck, I told y'all I've been with women. But I choose now to be with men. That's my choice. I love men. I love men. Anyway, but what about the people out here fornicating? You ain't talking about that. They look over that. Coming to church smiling, knowing I'm shacking up. There's somebody that ain't my husband. What about them people? What about the pastor that's committing adultery in the pulpit? What about them? I think if we police up our own homes and stop worrying about everybody else's home, we will be all right. Let women choose if they want to have an abortion or not. Now listen, again, I'm telling on myself, I have had abortion. Not 1, not 2, but 3 of them. Because it seemed like every time I was on birth control, I got pregnant. But when I'm off birth control, I don't get pregnant. Dumb. I don't know. My body's crazy. However, it was my choice. It was my mother and I sat down and we discussed it the first time I got pregnant. The second time I got pregnant, I was grown. And I didn't want it. So I had an abortion. And I was on the Depo shot. Now, the third time I got pregnant, I had a miscarriage and they had to go in and do a D&C, which really is an abortion. So, been there, done that. But it was my choice. I've been sexually assaulted. And I wouldn't want my rapist baby. So why are we putting all of what we believe on someone else? I have empathy. I have sympathy for anybody. Those books are just some of thousands of books that are being banned across the U.S. And some of them, now listen now, I'm not even gonna lie. There was a couple, I didn't say those, but I can tell you what they are. All boys aren't blue, right? That one, see, I didn't read that. That was an LGBTQIA plus book. But guess what? We ain't gotta read them. They can read them. And if your children are older and they want to read to see the differences in people, what is wrong with that? Let's police up ourselves. As a country, we are taking away the parents' right to teach and parent their own children. It's my right. Oh, and another book that's being banned, The Color Purple. The reboot is coming out in December. So we're going to ban that reboot too? Let's start policing ourselves and not worrying about everybody else's house. I love you all. I thank you all for being on here with me tonight. I hope next week when I come back, we're going to talk about this debt ceiling that they finally agreed upon in the House and is going to the Senate now. There's a lot of things, y'all, that this country is going through, and I wish and I hope and I pray that if we could take care of ourselves, we could take care of our country. So thank you again for joining me tonight and for indulging me to get my rant off about the LGBTQIA plus community, the banned books, and these pastors that are out here molesting our children. I love you all. I'll see you all next week, same time, same station. Love you.